Whoa, hello everyone. Welcome back to Muscle Fitness. Your host, the Timinator, and today I'm going to show you how to do bicep curls without these guys. Now, as we know, weights are pretty high right now, and a set of these are actually pretty expensive as well. So, if by any chance you do not buy these before you buy the Olympic standard bar and or Olympic bar and or the standard bar, I'll say that again, then I'm going to show you one way that you can do one arm straight bar bicep curls, and I'm not talking about the arm being in the middle or anything like that. So it's something new that I discovered myself. Some other YouTube fitness person may have or may not have showed this exercise, but I just wanted to show everybody how to do this exercise. And we got some weights down here, smaller ones of course, but gonna have our explanation on how to do this, how to set it up. It's actually quite simple, and also beginners can follow along as well. Let's go ahead, get our stretches in first, and then after I do the explanation of how to set this up and how to do it, then we'll go ahead and go into our muscle groups work, and then also our last but not least our actual injury charts as well. Alright, get her started.
I have to stretch before I work out. I'm only going to do 3 stretches, so that way we don't have to stand here and just watch me stretch all day. Oh, da.
Alright, did some stretches. Let's go ahead and get this set up. Alright everybody, so I just want to make this very clear. It's not that you can't do one arm curls with just the bar. The problem is it's so, the weight is so hard to control and so uneven, and you kind of have to train for this before you do it. So it's not that you can't do one arm curls like this with the straight bar. It's just a lot harder on your wrists and biceps and all that other stuff. So we're gonna do my way. So what you do, just set the flat bar on the ground. Got my weights. I'm just gonna put on a little bit of weight to start out. Put on my weight on one side, and I'm gonna turn away from the camera just a little bit and pull my straight bar a little bit this way. Alright, what you want to do is you want to be facing towards the bar like so, with the bar in front of you. Adjust your arm as needed and curl upward like this. And I'll have the other side as well in just a second here so everybody can see what exactly it is I am doing. I'm going to switch sides just so that way everybody can see exactly what it is I'm doing. Alright, have my weight right here next to the bottom of my thigh where the groin area is, and I'm going to lift it. Okay, adjust where you want the bar so that way you can lift it. One arm curl for the straight bar. Now this is a little bit different than the standard dumbbell curl, obviously, because it's up and down. This one's a little bit more to the side, so you may not want to add as much weight. Let's go ahead and get our explanation in on how to breathe for this exercise. So before you start breathing, like I said, make sure that the weight is where you need it to be, so that way you get in the correct curl that you want to try to get into. And then as you lift up, all right, breathe in, down, out, in, out, in, out. Alright, now that we've got that established, let's go ahead and do some incorrect, improper form that some people would do. Obviously, using your whole body to lift up the bar like this, that means one of two things. Either you have too much weight on, or you're just not doing it properly, and you're actually going to hurt your back pretty bad. You could also torque your wrist really bad if you want to do it that way. Here's another way where you're trying to lift up, but you don't go up all the way, and then you push to the side. Now you can do this, it's not that you can't, it's just that we're not focusing on the shoulder or the rotator cuff muscle or even the tricep muscle from that. We're just trying to get in a bicep curl. So get you nice and straight up and down. Another thing you want to try not to do for this exercise is twist too much. You don't really want to twist with it at all, because you can also cause injury and hurt yourself as well. Now, there are certain exercises that you have to twist for it and there's no other choice, but those are very rare exercises that are pretty old and pretty out of date, so you don't want to be doing those. Let's go ahead and set this down. Alright, so now that we got that down, I'm going to go ahead and get some fast forward in here, get some reps in, and then we'll move on to our muscle groups worked with this exercise. Fast forward. Awesome. Now we're finished with that. Go ahead and move on to our muscle groups worked. Alright everybody, here we are to our muscle group chart, and here are the muscles that are incorporated with this workout / exercise. That's obviously going to be targeting the biceps. I personally, in my opinion, because of how you're going sideways, it's going to be going to targeting the top peak part of the bicep a little bit more, and then just a little bit into the lower bicep right there. And then we got obviously some grip strength and wrist strength incorporating in this exercise, and you may even feel it on the back of your wrists over here. And that's about it for that muscle explanation. Let's go and move on to our injury chart. Alright everybody, here we are on to our injury charts. So for this exercise / workout, it's definitely going to be a lot harsher in the wrist area and a little bit harsher in the elbow area, just because of the type of angle that you're pulling up and down. So like I said before, try not to add too much weight to this. Eventually the plan is to add a little bit more weight at a time to get a little bit stronger each time. But just remember, if you're feeling like you're pulling out your muscle or anything, try not to add too much weight, because the bar by itself, you know, that's probably even less than half of the bar, because you're lifting it the way it is. So it's almost the full bar's weight. It's just there's that small amount on the floor that's not being lifted. So it's technically I'd say around 40 pounds, maybe 35 pounds, maybe maybe a little bit more, a little bit less. It kind of depends on how you want to measure it and how you want to do it. Anyway, on to the injury part of torquing the wrist. So you can definitely pull out your wrist muscles and stuff like that. So like a wrist and fracture or even a wrist tear with this type of exercise, and that's due to improper form and also too much weight as well. And then that's for the muscle groups right here, and then this will also impact your entire wrist. You'll probably even fill it up into here, into the small areas of the wrist to the top where it combines with the bicep. You'll feel some pain, a little bit of pain in your bicep, probably not as much as in your wrist area once you actually have a torn wrist muscle. And for the bone groups over here to our skeletal system, now it's not going to be the same type of pain as it is more as a discomfort for these parts of your bones. So you'll probably feel like joint pain and stuff in your hands, wrists, and obviously elbows as well. And you might even feel a tiny bit of pain in the actual bone that connects the entire wrist and elbow in between as well. And then our next injury, there's always chances of spraining, the very top of the bicep here. So strains usually caused by a couple different things. Like I said, same thing as tears. It's going to be the same thing as sprains and stuff like that. Sprains are a little bit less serious than tears. Sprains are just stuff that can heal pretty fast compared to actual tears in the muscle, like actually tearing off the muscle. That's different compared to strains. And then, so for straining the bicep, it's basically the same thing. Too much weight, not good form, and this is to a lesser extent, obviously, than a torn muscle. And for that, these areas will affect, your bicep, wrist, in the middle here. You might even feel some pain down the wrist, almost down to the very bottom of the wrist, and then you might even feel it in the back of your wrist a little bit as well. Kind of just depends on how bad the sprain is, how sore your muscles feel afterward. And for sprains, you don't normally feel any type of bone and or skeletal discomfort, but if you do, then it will be in about the same areas as I explained earlier with the first one.
Who needs less weight? Well, you can have even less weight. Who even knows what less weight really means?
Just messing with you guys. Like I said, try to keep this exercise nice and easy. Try not to force yourself with too much weight. This is obviously too much weight. I probably cheated there just for a few seconds. It's just for you guys to giggle and laugh at. Anyway, hopefully everybody enjoyed the video I made for you. Like, subscribe, grab life by the horns, and as always, unleash your inner bull.